Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, as described by others as the best MC in the OC, Ozzy V. Also with me on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing all right. Do you have a split personality that talks to you now, or?
No, I'm telling you, it was somebody else that said it. I knew that the moment I would mention that, somebody's like, okay, yeah, who said? No, I'm serious. Somebody else said it. Did not come from me.
That's awesome.
And
that's
I feel
awesome.
that it fits the rhyming scheme. Like, it's perfect.
You
It's deserved.
You must have someone over your shoulder telling you what to say.
Yeah! No! Yeah! All right. Also, ladies and gentlemen, with us, Flesh Room producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing good.
We're at the time of recording. This is November 29th, Thanksgiving weekend. Now, I'm not sure if this ties into this particular story. That I don't even know what the story contains. I'm finding it out for the first time. Greg, could you describe as a Hallmark story?
Yeah. So this actually happened today. We went to my grandma's house. We did first Thanksgiving with my cousins, in-laws, and such. And we did like a second Thanksgiving with my mom and my grandma. And we go to my grandma's house, and they love the Hallmark-esque movies. This wasn't technically a Hallmark movie, but it was that style of movie. It was on one of those, that just plays those all day. And it was a Thanksgiving theme, and I'm going to set up, most of these are very predictable, right? You know where this is going to go and such in most of these films. This one was, let me see. Do I still have, I'll have to remember. I'll figure out the name later. Anyway, the story was about a family celebrate Thanksgiving, and the dad comes down with Alzheimer's, and they're trying to figure out how to figure things out and all that fun stuff, and take care of him. And at one point in time, one of the children who's watching him, adult children, he smokes a bowl and passes out, and the dad gets up and then ends up walking off. Now, that guy who smokes bowl also has an ankle monitor, so he can't really chase him past the driveway. And the dad goes missing, and everyone goes to find him. And so the dad's like, and it's this very cold environment where everyone's like, well, did he at least leave with a jacket? And they go, no, he just had a flannel shirt on and, his khakis. They're like, if he stays the night out there, he could freeze to death. So, this is a harsh environment, right? And he ends up meeting this little girl who's homeless. And she brings him over to where she's, her little place is at. And she makes a fire and takes care of him. And she's like, yeah, my parents are gone. My dad's in jail. My mom passed away. All Thanksgiving joy that's happening. And she's like, this is my home. And she puts out a sleeping bag, and she's like, well, I wish I had a dad. And he's like, well, I can be your dad. This Alzheimer patient, he's sweet and having this moment, like interacting with this poor kid who's on the streets. And then she goes, and they spend that evening, go to sleep. And he has a sweet moment where she offers the warmer sleeping bag, and then he's like, no, if you're my daughter, you get the warmth. That's what a dad would do. And it's very sweet. And then, they have all these moments, and it's great. And then these kids who are trying to locate this guy are talking about it, and she overhears it, and she goes, oh, I need to get him in touch with him. And so she leads them to him without actually being spotted. She yells for help, and then they come and they find him, they take him away, and she's just hiding in the corner. And so at this point in time, when the dad is rescued and this poor girls on the streets. Where do you guys think this movie ends? How do you guys think it ends in typical Hallmark type fashion?
Kind of in a perfect bow, like
Yeah.
a happy ending.
What happens to the little girl? What do you think happens to the little girl?
I'm just gonna go with that. She moves in with the family.
Right. And everything sounds nice and dandy. What happens though is that he goes home and then he has a moment of clarity at the dinner table where he becomes himself again. The Alzheimer's kind of goes away and everyone's happy. They're like, Dad's back. That's him. But then after a prayer, the Alzheimer's comes back and he's back to his kind of muted self. But they still have their dinner and they eat it. And then it says 1 year later, and you're like, here it is. And it's a funeral for the dad. And you're like, what? And then at the end, they show the tombstone of the dad. And like the little girl comes up to the tombstone and leaves some flowers and a thing that says dad, and then just walks back into the cold. So you still have homeless girl on the streets and dad's dead. What kind of fucking like happy Thanksgiving movie is this? Like, it was the weirdest ending that I did not expect. And I now know why they tie these things up in a bow, because it just makes you feel uncomfortable and just sad.
Was this movie directed by Ryan Johnson?
Mean. I disturbed me.
When you said you had a Hallmark story, I thought you actually something happened to you that would be like on a Hallmark Channel movie. I didn't know it was the literal sense that an actual Hallmark movie story.
Yeah. And I even looked up the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes to see how people viewed it. Everyone's like, I remember when I went through this with such and such family member, and it's touching. And to be fair, the dad and that little kid, their acting was great for a Hallmark type film. Like, they were phenomenal. But like, all the reviews were talking about, I relate to this. I relate to this. But no one mentions the poor little homeless girl that's freezing in the streets.
Do you remember the name of this movie?
I will look it up again.
Okay, and then ladies and gentlemen,
part of me wants to know, was the little white girl?
The title of the movie, The Little White Girl?
No, I'm just checking. Like, if it was a brown kid, I don't know, Hallmark might ignore him after. No, so I'm just asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg's going to work on that so we can share what title of the movie that is, so that way you don't.
Did you name drop Ryan Johnson because the new glass or the new
Our Father's Keeper. That's what it was.
Our Father's Keeper.
Yes.
Our Father's Keeper. So the reason why I said Ryan Johnson is because
his new movie comes out on Netflix Friday?
No, is because hearing Greg complain about that movie sounded a lot like complaints about Last Jedi. Like, what is this movie? He could have killed the entire rebellion right there, and then he didn't. What?
I love that the internet says no, thank you, Ozzy.
That's a conversation for another time. Moving on now, today we do get to have the pleasure, of reviewing and discussing Just Right, which was released 2006. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, sir, Robot Ozzy. Here we go.
I thought it was auto-tuned, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
God, I love my life.
You're awesome.
Those are awesome.
Music producer Chris Brander has it all.
I saw you flirting with me out there. How'd you do that to your boyfriend?
We were just friends.
But in high school, things were a little different.
You mean more to me than anyone in this whole world.
Really?
I love you, Chris. Brother. We're friends, right? Sam, just leave him alone!
Oh my God!
10 years later, touring with the world's hottest pop star.
God, I want to lick your skin off.
Will take him home for the holidays.
Hi, Mom. This is my brother, Mike. You're hot.
I know.
Now, when he sees the girl he never forgot,
Jamie?
he's going to get a second chance
Oh my God, I can put my arms around you.
to win his first love.
Wow, Oh, Chris.
Jamie Palomino.
But it's going to be a lot harder
We're gonna be more than just friends. Mom! I need my skates to show off my talents.
You're a lot better than before.
than he ever thought.
You're pathetic!
I'm sorry, okay?
Want to fight hard? Don't worry, Chris. You're gonna be fine.
Jamie Palomino.
Dusty Dinkelman?
I can't compete with this guy. You see him play that guitar? It's like he has 15 fingers.
Nice outfit, by the way. Rock and roll.
That is so cute! I just want to eat you both up!
New Line Cinema presents
I'm not the same person I was in high school, pal.
You'll always be fat to me, Chris.
Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris, and Chris Klein.
How'd the big date go?
It was terrible. I went in for a kiss, but she wants a hug. Then I get caught in a sort of kiss-hug limbo type thing.
You gave her a body shake?
Just friends.
Hey, Merry Christmas, neighbor.
That was the trailer for Just Friends, released on November 23rd, 2005, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 96 minutes, directed by Roger Cumble, written by Adam Tex Davis, starring Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris, Chris Klein, featuring Julie Haggerty. Initial thoughts on this? I'd always seen the trailer for this, and this was actually my first time getting around to actually watching it.
It only took you 20 years.
It only took me 20 years. It's weird. Even though it's 20 years old, it still holds up as a modern comedy, which is a lot of.
Well, I don't know about modern comedy, but maybe a more recent one.
That's fair. That's fair to say.
Modern comedy is pretty much down the toilet, but
Oh well, I mean, in the sense when you because we reviewed.
There's a lot of stuff in here that wouldn't fly today. That's why I have a problem calling it modern comedy.
Yeah.
I just mean modern in the sense of pacing, because a lot of comedies back then would take their time, in their gags. This is more modern in the sense that just keeps kind of hitting you from the beginning. But it was a pleasant surprise. I'm usually not a fan of the romantic genre, but
Oh, yeah,
if there's enough humor in it.
100%. This would have been in private school territory a couple of years ago if we watched this. You would have hated this.
That's not true.
Oh, you would have totally hated this. Single Aussie would have absolutely hated
Oh,
this.
give me a break.
100%. Then you got the fat guy going skinny. He'd be like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen."
That is ridiculous.
This would have been a whole Aussie rant. I swear it would have been.
No,
2 years ago.
I know that's not the case, specifically because the one song singing that could be the thing that pissed me off about Once Bitten, like a potential musical number, is being shown as ridiculous and over the top comedic style. So I don't think that would have been the case if it was a couple of years ago.
I'd like to disagree, but we'll move on.
I never hated Ryan Reynolds, and I was always that's the thing.
Greg gets it.
Yeah. And I think you just kind of had a moment of admitting something without meaning to, because no one brought up you hating Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And you were just like, I never hated him.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else that would have made me hate this movie.
I kind of basically laid it out, but
I think you're being ridiculous because I still hate Private School with a passion.
yeah, I
So
think we
that's
would
why
have ran.
it's unfair to say it would have been in the same boat. It wouldn't have gotten a rant. It would have
Okay.
gotten a rant. Moving on. It's a
You
Christmas
were more
movie.
ranty before. I think it would have gotten rant.
No. The only reason I've been less ranty is because there's somebody who lives above me that has an itchy phone finger, if you catch my drift. And I have to
Oh.
keep it down.
No.
Before, I didn't have that problem. I was as loud as the homeless people walking in front of my house.
There you go.
Just blended in. Nobody called anybody. So that's why I'm less ranty today, or
That's fair.
this time.
That's
But
fair.
I honestly, genuinely don't think this movie would have gotten a rant from me. So I don't know what else to say for initial thoughts. Who wants to go next?
I was going to quote this movie right now, but I don't want to use the line because that might be one of my favorite moments. But I was going to quote it, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Got it.
You don't deserve the quote.
Okay.
I
Greg?
have seen this movie before, but it's been a long enough time where I just remembered the basic concept of the movie. You know, a lot of the punchlines weren't remembered, so it was really fun to revisit. This kind of is within that kind of. Was this around Van Wilder?
2005. This is post Van Wilder, but it
Yeah.
was still like close enough.
Yeah, so this was in that era of this part of Ryan Reynolds, not that he changed too much, but still. So I actually really enjoyed this era of like comedy and all the kind of rom-com moments and ridiculousness that happened. This one definitely had a little bit more heart to it, although there's some ridiculous things within it. It was it was pretty. It had some good heart to it, and I did appreciate that. So, I was excited to see it again, and it it holds up. I think you're right, and it can hold up with the modern comedies, outside of maybe not being allowed to say certain things. But that's about it.
This is like from the Chevy Chase period of Ryan Reynolds' career, where you could basically just swap either one out and it was the same movie. Which some would argue now behind the scenes they're the same too, but that's a whole nother thing.
Wow.
But
Interesting.
this is one, again, I'm kind of with you, Greg. I saw it way back, 20 years ago, 19 years ago, enjoyed it, and only really retained the premise of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is one that my wife loves, and I know she likes to watch it more. But so yeah, I forget it is a really fun movie.
That would have not received a rant from me. So, having said that, let's get into the favorite moments of the film. I'm going to go last here because I have plenty to choose from. Todd, I have a feeling I know what yours is, so why don't you just kick things off to get it out of the way?
Well, I mean, that's what I have it written down, but you don't deserve a penis. just yeah.
Yep, on here.
Oh man, there's a couple on here that I'm having a tough time choosing from.
I thought I knew exactly what yours was going to be, and I didn't, and I wrote it down, but I didn't write it down for me.
Interesting.
So I'll say what it is after everyone's if you don't pick it.
Which is kind of funny because I thought you would have picked one of the other ones that I wrote down.
We'll have to share at the end.
I'll say, and apparently the president can say this now, so it's an okay thing again. How did the guy looks at Ryan Reynolds after losing all the weight, the football guy, and he's like, "How did you lose all that weight? Like the retard from Subway?"
And yet using the actual description word is worse.
Yeah.
Although very one that rolls off the tongue a lot now also.
Yeah.
Now for me, this wasn't like more so a line, just a moment that I keep thinking about, especially when I'm brushing my teeth. And that's when he walks into the bedroom and sees the pop star with ice on her head. And she's just like has toothpaste by the tube and just gleefully just pouring it inside and eating the toothpaste. I like laughed so hard I started seeing stars. Like I was dizzy. I couldn't hold myself up. Because Anna Faris is fantastic when it comes to physical comedy. And it's great because you don't have a lot of actresses that embrace that. You have her, Kristen Wiig, and Kate McKinnon, really, that can go all out with that. And it was really fun that whole scene in particular, but the opening shot of just the door opening and then that's what he sees is, I'm going to be honest. One of my cats likes to lick plastic, and that's the look he has on his face when he's licking plastic. So I completely lost it at that moment. Todd, what did you think Greg's favorite line was going to be? Or
I
moment?
thought it was going to be obvious, and he was beating up all the kids up in hockey.
So I actually have the line. That moment was great, but the line of what is your problem? She's just a girl. And he goes, "That's a girl," and then the girl looks at him and goes, "Pussy."
That was see.
So
you said with mine. Yeah, never mind. All right,
so how about your guys' critiques?
Look, this is a personal one. There's a scene where they're going back and they're looking at all the dorky things that he did when he was overweight and friends with the girl. First, it's cheerleading, and he's so embarrassed. And then it's juggling. Juggling is perfectly fine. All right. There's nothing wrong with it. Although I do have to give credit. One thing I will give the respect for is in the juggling, you could tell he was just learning it, because that thing where they go like this and have it throw out to in, like towards the chest. It's a very beginner, like you're learning kind of thing. And so I was very happy that was what that was, but at the same time pissed off at the context.
It's exactly reminds me of what's his face? It was the Kristen Wiig coupon movie where Coupon Mafia. No, it was where they and the other were collected all the coupons and sold the coupons, whatever. And Paul Walter Hauser was like the supermarket narc, like, checking to make sure stuff's, and then they're like showing him like being alone and he turns on wrestling. It's just like, come on, what do you understand? Like, I understand you probably said, "Oh, can I do this?" But do you understand what you're saying? I mean, the message you're trying to deliver.
I accept it's fact, though. I mean, the majority of wrestling fans are not people I would want to hang out with. Every time we used to take my kid to like a WWE event, my wife would get mad at me because she's like, "You act so snobby." I was like, "I don't want to know any of these people or talk to any of them." He's like, "You just want to go back to your independent with the cool kids." I was like, "Yes, I really do." I'm not cracking 40s with anyone here or anything. No. So there was truth in most stereotypes, if you weren't aware, Ozzy.
That's okay. All right, but okay, not so much of the juggling one. Obviously, Greg's married, has a healthy, happy marriage.
That's right.
I was just referring to the wrestling one, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, similarities, just similar, like things, whatever. Okay, moving on. Todd,
I don't really have one on this one.
Really?
I mean, yeah, nothing I could say publicly.
All righty. I did feel that there was a lot of stuff going on. Like, it kind of seemed like multiple movies combined into one. Like,
it does feel rushed towards the end.
The fat friend, and then the pressure to get this star signed on the label, and
Chris Klein just showing up and being the other nerd.
Right. It seemed like a lot of stuff was going on. I didn't mind it because I kind of enjoyed the chaos, but I can see how somebody would tune out of that once it gets past a certain threshold of disbelief, I guess, so to speak.
They were dealing with the new thing of short attention spans then, so they had to keep it going.
Yeah, and it seemed like the pop star thing just seemed like a device to get him there. Like, do we even know if she signed? That could even resolved or answered, or
that was not specified
because it didn't even matter into the story.
Right. Nobody really cared.
Yeah.
So you just know that he didn't end up losing his job. So you have to assume that she did, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did he just leave to go? I don't know. Yeah, there's so many unanswered questions.
Right.
So maybe there is. Okay.
There are some complaints. Now, getting into the ratings there, I mean, all that aside, as I said, I enjoy the chaos. However, there's a certain level of mental strength that's required when you suspend disbelief. And sometimes that's rewarded with some great humor, or sometimes it's rewarded with humor that falls flat. This was more of the former. Personally, I enjoyed it from start to finish. There was a lot of laugh out loud moments. Anna Faris's over the top character kind of like acts as the, I guess the comedic relief of the comedy, where like the far stretch of, you know, the ridiculousness or silliness of something. And however, there was the moment during the credits where we saw Ryan Reynolds in the fat suit with the retainer, trying to look as goofy as possible, trying to sing that
taking
song.
jobs away from actual fat actors.
The one thing that comes to mind was Jason Alexander mentioning something about Colin Farrell needing to wear a fat suit for being the Penguin. And then
When
I
he
thought to
looks
myself,
exactly like what's his name from Spin City, and I can't think of his name right now.
Richard Kind.
Yes, like the
He
Penguin
did look a little, yeah, he did look like Richard Kind a
You
little
could have
bit.
just took
Why
that
not?
one
They should have just
specifically.
taken Richard Kind. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Richard Kind's Curb character as the Penguin.
But I mean, come on,
Andy David as the Penguin.
They Christopher Walken, Crispin Glovered his ass. I'm just saying.
But that did get me thinking of Jason Alexander as a like mobster, and it kind of felt like a parallel universe kind of thing. He's a voice on Harley Quinn anyway. I'm sorry, getting back to this one here. Aside from the critiques and its chaos, I still did have a very good time with it. I'm not sure how second or multiple viewings would go, but based
Take
on
20
my
years in
first time
between, and
viewing-
it'll be great.
There you go.
based on my first time viewing, I'm going with a 4.5, and I can't see it going much lower than a 4, if even possible. But I'm happy giving it, with the first time viewing, at least a 4.5.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm giving it a 4. I had a great time with this film. I wouldn't say it's it's got anything that's glaringly bad or anything. Fun pacing, great humor, fun story. But it's just not. I'm not thinking it's in the top echelon of my film. So it wasn't gut busting laugh out loud, but it had laughs throughout the whole thing.
I'm with you. And I started out thinking I was going to give it a 4, but I'm actually going to give it a 3.5 because the fact that it was I didn't retain anything for 20 years. Nothing, like I never had an urge to go back.
Mhm.
So, I mean, maybe I'll go up if I watch it again, but I don't know if I'm going to ever have the urge. I mean, it's fine for what it is.
So I guess your biggest critique of the movie is that it didn't have enough wanting you to come back for multiple viewings.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like if you look at something from the time, like a Harold and Kumar, like that's something I've gone back and watched.
That's great rewatch, right?
Yeah, and this one, like, it's good, it's fine, it's fun, it's what it is. But there's so much other Christmas stuff I'm going to watch it. I've never, like I said, it's been at least 19 years since I watched it, and
right.
So
right, I got you.
So I'm a 3. I mean, still a strong rating. It's just,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, at this time, as of November 29th, actually, I will say it does look like this film is available to stream on Crunchyroll if you do have access to that, and check wherever.
Interesting place for that to be on. Isn't that like all anime?
Well, I think they're trying to give the fat kids watching anime some hope. Sorry to my Crunchyroll subscribers. I'm just pulling your leg.
Todd's just having fun. But if you would like to send him some hate mail, you can do so at producer Todd at fleshwound.
No. Hate mail all goes to Hatman Dan.
Hatman Dan at fleshwoundfeatures.com. Okay. So that concludes our review of this film. If you'd like to check out where it's streaming at the time that you're watching this, head to justwatch.com, type it in. I'll give you that information. It is available for purchase or rental wherever you consume your favorite digital content. And before you head out this evening, another quick reminder that if you are in the Orange County area this week, This Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be hosting trivia. First Tuesday at the Rush Bar and Grill in Lake Forest, beginning at 7 o'clock, and this Wednesday at the Brewery in Placentia, also at 7 o'clock both nights, free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. I would like to let you know that every song I play via the speaker that I bring with me has something to do with the answer. There might be some other hosts in the area that believe they pick songs that have something. They pick songs, do with the topics, do with the questions. They don't do what I do. So try not to fall for any scams, for lack of a better term. Just had to drop that. And if you do happen to be in the area of Hawaiian Gardens this Friday, December 12th, you can catch me ring announcing at Metroflex Gym over in Hawaiian Gardens. Todd's going to be there as well. You can say hi to both of us. So if you gentlemen don't have anything else before we head out for the evening.
Just that I hope that people don't get scammed for Wish trivia hosts.
That's, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.